Glory to the Mother Divine, Shivalansa.
Shivalansa. That was the voice of Paramahansa Yogananda, a spiritual guru who founded the Self-Realization Fellowship. And this is the voice of Crystal Clear, the crazy lady with Morgellons who hosts the show called More Morgellons that you're listening to. Thanks for listening. Yes, I said Paramahansa Yogananda. I love saying that name. Shout out India and all the Indian people in the USA and Canada and Australia and the UK in... Fuck, I don't know. They could be in outer space at this point. The East Asians are. But the West and the East both bring what the North and the South don't. All of us are needed to find our way in this world. I'm glad you found your way to this podcast. It's pretty fucking good, if I do say so myself. The critics love me. They just haven't heard of me yet. Leave a review. Rate this podcast. I would rate it R, and I'd tell your kids to go outside and play if they're still sitting here. Hey, kiddos, get a little chubby, go outside now, jump some rope, hopscotch, squats. No, I'm just kidding. Kids shouldn't have to worry about the way their bodies look, and they also shouldn't have to be saddled with saddlebags and fatty livers before they're even old enough to legally have a beer belly, and yet they do. America. Well, and increasingly everywhere, we're getting fat, y'all. But, you know, some of us aren't getting fat. I've been just anecdotally, but pretty broadly, looking through Morgellons patients' self-reports online. And they are reporting themselves to be average weight, underweight. Not a lot of reports from people saying they're overweight. Now, this could mean that Morgies are a bunch of big fat liars, literally. But, okay, there's some margin of people that are like, my average weight is 220 pounds is average. I think it is. It probably is, actually. But you know what I'm saying, guys. It's just, I want a study of genetics. I want to know the basic demographics. I want real research. How do we engage powerful allies? Once again, as we did back in, I guess it was 2007, when the CDC finally listened to Congress speaking for their constituents about Morgellons. It's back. It's not back. It never went away, guys. It's been here the whole freaking time. We're still here. There's a lot more of us now. Hope it's not you next. This is some crazy shit. You won't get it until you get it. Stay tuned. Morgellons has taught me that arrogance leads to ignorance, and there is great utility in humility. So with that in mind, let's get started on today's episode. For those who've never listened to this show before and are just meeting me for the first time, and possibly even coming to hear about this crazy-ass fucking disease called Morgellons, but that I, for some reason, call Morgellons. You're about 8 seasons behind, 250-something change episodes. But don't worry, I can get you caught up. Every season, I have a new theory, hypothesis about what the Morgellons are. And sometimes I even claim to be able to help people who suffer. And for sure, this community of you and me and all of us has helped me, for sure, deal with some of the psychosocial, emotional, spiritual ailments that these little fuckers have brought into my life and possibly yours if you're a Morgie out there. I was so happy to hear from a listener recently, Marissa. And I've actually heard from a few new listeners recently, or maybe old listeners, but new to me. And I cannot wait to have them on the show if they so choose to be on it. And if I ever have a moment to come up for air during this Georgia Tech boot camp I'm taking to become a certified full stack software developer, registered nurse, not currently practicing. Change is taxing, demanding. It is difficult, at least for me. It is frightening. Yet change, well, it's the only constant. It is really the very milk of this existence. And that doesn't mean that all change is necessarily good and that you shouldn't meet it with resistance, because sometimes the path of resistance is the only ethical option. Don't get it twisted, sister and brother, father and mother. I have never advocated for liquefying the brain into a soup of resignation and radical acceptance, nor have I suggested you should open your mind to the point where your brain falls out, because that can happen. And some of you who have listened to this show in the long run are like, yeah, I think brain liquefaction was the tip of the day back in season. Maybe. I mean, you keep changing your story, and like, one season is worms, the next season is aliens, then it's a black film. There's that weird season you thought you were dying of lymphoma. It's like what? Like I don't know? Yes, no, I do not know. And so I would just say that that's further belief of the one thing I do know, and that's that I don't have a delusional disorder. Remember, delusional disorders are characterized by fixed beliefs. We just established that I can't fix any of my beliefs. They all get broken as I keep introducing new and better information. Latest fascination, as many of you may know, and if you don't know, it is something called death dirt. Rusty dust. It's the Saharan air layer. It's smart dust. It could be dumb dust, but it is definitely a lot of fucking dust. And it seems to blow mainly on areas where Morgellons is coincidentally concentrated. Bacillus subtilis. You know, it goes pretty deep. Go back and listen starting around season 6. Trust me, I will grow on you. Almost like a fungus, a very stubborn, incurable fungus. Yes, that was one of my other theories. So basically, let me get this straight. The proof that I have a monosymptomatic delusional disorder called delusional parasitosis or delusions of infestation is chiefly supported by the diagnostic criteria that I have met by bringing a doctor evidence, not a psychiatrist, a generalist, or a dermatologist, bringing them physical evidence from my body and from my environment. This act in and of itself confirms I am delusional, because I have a fixed belief that is unshakable regardless of the introduction of new evidence or better evidence. Yet at the same time, I'm not credible because I keep changing my story, and also because I'm weird. And even though normallessness is the new normal, conformity never goes out of favor with the crowd. And psychiatry is a tool of political oppression. We are not deluded about what we're seeing and experiencing when it comes to the skin, the lesions with the foreign materials, the fibers, the specks, the glitters, the fuzzballs, the hexagons, the fucking insect DNA. I don't even know. I don't know what they are. Truth is, nobody really knows. They say it's keratin and collagen. Okay, great, it's keratin and collagen. Why did it take so fucking long for y'all to figure that out? First thing you told us was that these fibers that we checked the FBI fiber database for, because they obviously look like freaking textiles, but they could not be identified using any normal test, and they could not be burned and this and that. And now they're just skin. Keratin and collagen, y'all, that's what makes up skin. That's the normal fucking matrix of normal fucking skin. So I don't know, y'all. Mine's not normal. Listen, it's getting cold outside. It's so late. It's like 2:30 a.m. I'm just fitting this in between my homework project. I have been working for like 2 weeks to try to get a font less opaque. This is painstaking. I now understand why software engineers make so much money, because it is fucking torture. But it's rather interesting too. I'm enjoying it, y'all. I'm hating it and enjoying it. It's just a whole grab bag of fun and change. All right, hang in there. This isn't gonna last, no matter what you're going through, good or bad. It's all gonna blow away with the dust. Stay tuned.